The thick fog rolling off the Charles River always made my historic apartment in Beacon Hill feel like a fortress of memories. I had lived in this beautiful brick building for 42 years. Ever since 1982, when my late husband Arthur and I bought it. We scraped together every single penny from his accounting job and my piano lessons to afford the down payment. Back then, this neighborhood wasn't an elite enclave. It was just our home. Every room in this house holds priceless memories of raising our 3 children and celebrating dozens of holidays. But lately, the peace of my sanctuary had been disturbed by something I couldn't quite put into words. It started with my middle grandson, Rodrigo, who began making very strange inquiries. He started visiting much more often, which would have been touching if not for the suspicious and cold nature of his constant curiosity. "Grandma, how many square feet is this place exactly?" he asked one afternoon while staring out the bay window. He had a smile that never quite reached his eyes. "And did you know this building is officially on the National Register of Historic Places?" I answered his questions with the patience of a teacher, thinking he was finally taking an interest in our history. Rodrigo had always been a sweet boy, but in the last few months, something shifted. His eyes had developed a cold, calculating glint that reminded me of Arthur's brother, the one who nearly destroyed the family. The situation became much clearer on a Tuesday in August when Rodrigo arrived alone. He brought a box of my favorite pastries from the North End and sat on the velvet sofa. He put on that serious adult expression young people use when they want something. "Grandma," he said, "have you thought about your estate planning?" He started using technical terms like living trusts, family holdings, and tax optimization with suspicious ease. Every word sounded rehearsed, as if he were reading from a script someone else had written for him. I felt a chill that had nothing to do with the air conditioning. Arthur always told me to pay attention to what people don't say. Rodrigo wasn't talking out of concern for my well-being. He was talking about a big opportunity. I decided to call my daughter Beatrice, who is Rodrigo's mother, to see if she knew anything about his new interests. I tried to sound casual, but she immediately became defensive. "Mom, Rodrigo is just trying to help you. He works at the bank and understands these things." When I asked her how much a place like mine was worth, she hesitated. "At least $5 or $6 million, Mom. Maybe even more." The number felt completely obscene. Suddenly, Rodrigo's behavior made sense. The way he brought his new girlfriend, Yolita, an architect, to admire the space. I remembered how Yolita had spent the entire visit looking at the walls and whispering about plusvalia letters. That night, I couldn't sleep at all. I kept thinking about Rodrigo as a little boy, eating pancakes in my kitchen and dreaming of being an astronaut. I wondered exactly when money had replaced those innocent dreams. The next morning, I contacted Mr. Arriaga, my lawyer for 25 years and a man Arthur trusted deeply. "I need you to look into something for me," I told him. "I think my own blood is planning something terrible." 10 days later, Mr. Arriaga called me into his office in downtown Boston. He looked much grimmer than usual as he opened a thick manila folder. My heart hammered against my ribs so hard I thought I might actually faint. "Rodrigo hasn't just been curious, Leticia," Mr. Arriaga said gravely. "He's been conducting a professional appraisal." He showed me records that Rodrigo had consulted 3 different real estate agencies. He had provided them with detailed floor plans and interior photos he took during his friendly visits. But the worst was yet to come. The lawyers showed me phone records connecting Rodrigo to a notorious property developer named Marcus Thorne. Marcus Thorne was known for buying historic buildings, gutting them, and turning them into luxury condos for profit. They didn't just want my apartment. They were eyeing the entire building for demolition. There were 6 units in total, all owned by seniors like me. Rodrigo was orchestrating a scheme to consolidate the whole property for a project worth $50 million. I realized he was treating my life's work as a transaction. He was even planning to move me into a luxury senior residence, which was just a fancy term for an expensive asylum. But there was another victim in this play. My granddaughter, Mariana. She was Rodrigo's fiancée, and she was blissfully happy about the wedding. She worked as a kindergarten teacher and believed in fairy tales. I invited Mariana to lunch at a quiet Italian spot, feeling a stab of guilt. How could I destroy her happiness? Mariana, I asked as the main course arrived, does Rodrigo ever talk to you about money or my apartment? She blushed and looked at her plate. He mentioned it's very big for you to manage alone. He said it would be practical to sell it and split the money when the time comes. Practical. The word made me shiver. I reached into my bag and pulled out a small folder with just enough evidence to sow doubt. Your fiancé's already appraised it for demolition. I watched the color drain from her face, but he loves me, she whispered, her voice trembling with shock. I squeezed her hand tightly. Mariana, I need you to be strong. Need you to help me find out how deep this goes. Can you stay quiet and just observe him for a few more days? She nodded, her eyes filling with tears, but a spark of courage ignited in her gaze. Mariana became my secret ally, and together we started digging into the truth. Over the next week, she discovered that Rodrigo had lied about everything. He wasn't an investment manager, but a junior consultant with mounting debts. The luxury car he drove was a rental, and the apartment he claimed to own actually belonged to his brother. Everything about him was a facade built to deceive. Meanwhile, my investigator caught Rodrigo meeting with Marcus Thorne, looking over drawings of what my home would look like after demolition. I decided I needed more than just words. I needed a public confession in front of the whole family. If I just told them, they would say I was senile. I scheduled a family meeting for Sunday afternoon, claiming I wanted to discuss the future. I prepared coffee, pastries, and a hidden network of cameras installed by my investigator, Pablo. Rodrigo arrived with Mariana, looking smug and victorious, thinking his plan was entering its final phase. When everyone was seated, I took a deep breath. I'm 74, I began. I'm getting tired, and managing this place is hard. I've decided that maybe Rodrigo is right. Maybe it's time to donate the apartment to the family now. I saw Rodrigo lean forward, his eyes shining with greed. That's a very wise decision, Grandma, he said. And about those renovations, Ulita suggested, we could do them right away to increase the property value. My daughter Beatrice looked confused. What renovations? What are you talking about? Rodrigo, thinking he had me in his pocket, started explaining his vision of modernizing the space. I pushed a little further. Rodrigo, since you're so involved, why don't you tell everyone about your meetings with Marcus Thorne? About the plans for the demolition? The silence that followed was absolute. Every head in the room turned toward him in shock. He stammered, trying to claim it was just market research, but Mariana stood up, her face wet with tears. I saw the spreadsheets on your laptop, Rodrigo. I saw the profit-sharing agreement. You weren't helping Grandma. You were selling her out. The room exploded as my son Carlos moved toward Rodrigo. You planned to kick our mother out of her home for a commission? The mask of the sweet grandson was finally ripped away for everyone to see. I let them argue for a few minutes before I raised my hand for silence. I didn't just find out through Mariana, I said calmly. I have full documentation. Mr. Arriaga stepped into the room holding copies of Rodrigo's emails and recorded conversations. Beatrice looked at the papers with trembling hands. When she reached the part where Rodrigo said I would be safely tucked away by January, she let out a sound of pure, agonizing heartbreak. She turned to her son and said words I never thought I'd hear. Get out of my sight, Rodrigo. Leave this house before I do something I'll regret. Rodrigo tried one last time to claim we were making a mountain out of a molehill, but Mr. Arriaga silenced him. I have evidence here that would end your career. I suggest you leave quietly and thank your grandmother that we aren't filing criminal charges. Rodrigo grabbed his coat and slammed the door. Mariana collapsed onto the sofa, sobbing. The wedding is in 3 weeks. 200 guests. The dress. Everything is ready. What do I do? I sat beside her and spoke firmly. You cancel it, my dear. It's better to have people gossip for a month than to be miserable for a lifetime with a man who stole your heart to get to my bank account. My children, already adults, were my little ones again. We promised to help Mariana through the coming storm. In the following weeks, our family began a painful healing process. Mariana canceled the wedding, and while people talked, she held her head high. Beatrice cut off all contact with Rodrigo, the hardest decision of her life. I discovered that Rodrigo had even approached my neighbors, trying to trick them into signing over their deeds. I organized a meeting for all owners in the building and helped them hire a professional management firm to protect them. 6 months after the drama, my apartment was peaceful again. I had installed a better security system and adopted a ginger cat I named Beethoven. One afternoon, Beatrice came over for tea. "Mom," she said, Rodrigo reached out. "He's in debt, he lost his job, and he's begging for money." I looked at her, waiting. I told him he has to deal with the consequences of his own choices. "I love him, but I won't fund a life built on lies," she said firmly. I squeezed her hand. It was the right choice. Ambition is a fire that can warm a house or burn it down, and Rodrigo had chosen to be the arsonist. I realized the value of my home wasn't in the millions of dollars. It was in the marks on the doorframe measuring the children's growth and the memories of Arthur's laughter. Mariana eventually started dating again, a quiet history professor who didn't care about inheritance. I told her, "This one you keep." At 76, I was living my best life. I had expanded my piano lessons to include an online school and published a book on financial protection for seniors. I even bought a small cottage 2 hours outside the city where I could garden in silence. The Beacon Hill apartment remained my primary home, but the cottage was my sanctuary. One evening, Rodrigo called from an unknown number. He was crying, saying he was confused by greed. I listened to his voice and felt deep sadness for the grandson I had lost, but also a profound peace. "You can rebuild your life, Rodrigo," I told him. "But you have to change for real, not just because you got caught. Don't call again." I hung up and returned to my garden. The greatest revenge isn't destroying those who hurt you. It's living so well that their shadows can no longer reach you. I am Leticia, and I am finally, truly home in Boston. Thinking back on that day in the bank, I realize how close I came to losing everything. If I hadn't listened to my intuition, I would be sitting in a sterile room right now, wondering where my life went. My daughter Camila recently sent me a message about a family barbecue. She asked if I could bring my famous dessert. I smiled and replied that I would be there at noon. It's a simple joy, but after the storm, it feels like a grand victory. I spent the afternoon tending to my roses and lavender. Each plant grows at its own pace when given what it needs, not just what it wants. It's the same with children. Sometimes the greatest act of love is saying no. Sometimes the greatest kindness is letting someone fall so they can learn how to stand up on their own. I breathed in the scent of damp earth and flowers, feeling grateful for the pain that taught me how to be strong. The city of Boston continues to pulse around me, but its rhythm no longer intimidates my spirit. I have found my own tempo. My children now look to me as an inspiration, not a person to be pitied or managed. I have built a legacy of dignity, helping thousands find their own strength through my foundation. I realized that the invisible woman on the bench was a powerhouse waiting to be awakened by a single act of courage and self-love. Every morning I look at the skyline from my window and remember the cold park where I once felt lost. I keep a small piece of red cloth on my desk to remind me of where I came from. It grounds me as I manage my affairs and community programs. I am no longer just a widow or a mother. I am Leticia, a woman who reclaimed her value and reshaped her destiny. My home is where I am respected, where I live with dignity, and where my heart is at rest. The investigator, Pablo, still checks in on me occasionally. He told me that my case was one of the most professional family stings he had ever seen. I laughed and told him that a mother's love is powerful, but a grandmother's sense of justice is legendary. We turned a potential tragedy into a lesson for the whole neighborhood. Now, the seniors in my building feel safe, and Marcus Thorne has moved his business far away from Beacon Hill. I recently attended a seminar on financial abuse, and the room was filled with people my age. I told them my story, not as a victim, but as a survivor who fought back. I saw the sparks of hope in their eyes. I told them it is never too late to reinvent yourself or to set boundaries. We are not old or discarded. We are experienced and capable of leading empires. We are the silent strength of this city, and we will no longer be ignored. Richard, my former son-in-law, eventually found a humble job and started a joint savings account with my daughter. He called to thank me for the hardest lesson of his life. It wasn't a direct apology, but it was growth. I felt a warmth in my chest knowing that by destroying their false world, I gave them a chance to build a real one. They are learning to live within their means, and for the first time, they seem truly happy with each other. My granddaughter Sophia asked me if I was sad about the years I wasted on people who didn't value me. I told her I was sad for the time, but not for the ending. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is start over, I told her. She hugged me and said she wanted to be strong like me. That made me cry. I've cried a lot lately, but they are tears of relief and liberation. I am finally the owner of my own life, and the future is bright. I've started writing my memoirs, focusing on the subtle ways manipulation works. I want to document the signs of gaslighting so others can recognize them. It's hard work facing the memories of dinners where I was told I was forgetful, but it's healing. Every word I write is a brick in the wall of my new freedom. I am no longer a discarded antique. I am a masterpiece in progress. My story is a warning and a beacon for anyone trapped in shadows. Today, I went for a long drive along the coast, enjoying the sea air. People used to tell me I was too old to drive long distances, but today I drove with complete confidence. I stopped at a small cafe and had lunch alone, reading poetry. I didn't feel invisible. I felt essential. I am a part of the world again, on my own terms. My name is Leticia, and I am a survivor, a teacher, and a champion of dignity. I am finally home, and I am free. My son, Pedro, called to tell me his daughter wants to be a doctor. I told him that was wonderful, and that I hope she becomes like Dr. Carmen, someone who values truth over silence. We talked about her dreams, and for once, the conversation didn't revolve around my health issues. It was a normal, happy talk between a mother and her son. It was absolutely priceless. I realized that true wealth is looking in the mirror and liking the person looking back. I keep Arthur's old watch on my nightstand. It doesn't tick anymore, but it reminds me that time is precious. I spent too much of it being a secondary character in other people's lives. Now, I am the lead. I spend my evenings listening to classical music and planning my next trip. I might go to Italy next year to see the opera houses. Why not? I have the money, I have the health, and most importantly, I have the permission from myself to enjoy it. The scent of failure that others tried to project onto me was actually their own. I didn't fail. I survived and triumphed. The strength I found in that lawyer's office has stayed with me. I am a winner because of my unyielding spirit. I walked along the harbor today looking at the boats and the tourists. It's a beautiful world when you aren't looking at it through the lens of fear. I told a young artist that the most beautiful light comes from within. My grandson Leo is growing so fast. He's starting to ask questions about the man in the old photos. I told him his grandfather, Arthur, was a good man who loved this house. I didn't mention Rodrigo's betrayal yet. He's too young. It's important to be honest with the next generation, but also to protect their innocence. Leo is a bright boy, and he is our family's hope. He sees the strength in the wood of the furniture I restore, not just the polish. I'm sitting on my porch tonight, writing the final words of this chapter. The sun is setting, and the sky is a canvas of orange and pink. I feel a deep, profound peace in my soul. I have told my truth, cleared the dust of the past, and found my life again. I am going to put down my pen now and have a quiet evening. To everyone listening, remember that your life is not a museum for others to judge. You are the architect of your own soul. Stand tall. Don't be afraid of the silence or the cold. Sometimes you have to lose everything to discover that you are actually the owner of the world. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. Look in the drawers of your life for the hidden letters and forgotten deeds. The truth is always there, waiting. And once you find it, you can never be a prisoner again. This is my story, a story of a life restored from the ashes. I have my name, my mind, and my future. I realized that the smell of poverty some people fear is nothing compared to the scent of a soul rotting with greed. Rodrigo had all the luxury in the world, but he was bankrupt of character. My apartment might be old, but it is filled with a richness money can't buy. It is filled with the scent of honest work, music, and a woman who finally knows her worth. I have everything I need right here in Beacon Hill, surrounded by the ghosts of a life well lived. My late husband would have been so angry about the betrayal, but he would have been even more proud of how I handled it. He always knew I was stronger than I gave myself credit for. He left me a legacy of resilience, and I am finally using it. We are now a family forged in truth, and we are unbreakable. The vase of our family wasn't just repaired. It was transformed into something much more beautiful. My sister called to say she's glad I found my colors. It's a good life when you can laugh at the tragedies of the past and see them as lessons. I am happy, healthy, and loved. What more could a woman ask for at 76? I am living my best life on my own terms every single day. I am teaching a new class on the art of boundaries at the community center. I want to help other women understand that no is a complete sentence. It's a structure that can hold the weight of your entire life. Stand your ground. The smell of cedar and wax in my workshop is the scent of my freedom. It reminds me of the day I decided to take control. I am the landlord of my own heart now, and no one else has the key. Rodrigo and Yulita are just footnotes in a much larger story of triumph. My house smells like victory and peace. My grandson Leo asked if I was still sad. I told him, "Leo, I'm just grateful for the strength I found." He's a smart kid. He sees the truth in things. Final thought for the evening. Don't wait for your world to fall apart to find your worth. Stand tall today. Speak your truth now. You are a masterpiece in progress, and the restoration of your soul is the most important work you will ever do. The truth will always set you free, even if it hurts at first. I am Leticia, and I am finally, truly free. Goodbye for now, and remember to always trust your instincts. The universe rewards courage. I often visit the small park nearby where I used to take my children. I sit on the same bench and watch the world go by. I am no longer the woman who waits for a phone call to feel valid. I am the one who makes the calls. My life is full of music, from the piano lessons I give to the records I play at night. I've realized that peace isn't the absence of conflict, but the ability to handle it with grace and power. I am at peace with my past. Rodrigo's letters from the suburbs are filled with excuses, but I don't read them anymore. I don't need his version of the story to know the truth. I've learned that some people only change when they have no other choice, and that's not true change. I pray he finds his way, but he will have to do it without my guidance or my money. I have a new life to live, and it doesn't include managing the dramas of those who tried to erase my existence. My daughter Beatrice and I have grown closer than ever. They talk about everything now, including the hard things. She told me that seeing me stand up for myself gave her the courage to make changes in her own life. We are no longer just mother and daughter. We are two women who respect each other's strength. We spend our weekends visiting art galleries or just walking through the city. It's a new chapter for both of us, built on honesty. I've started a scholarship fund for young musicians from humble backgrounds. It's my way of giving back to the community that has given me so much. Every time I see a student's eyes light up when they master a difficult piece, I feel a sense of purpose. I am passing on the gift of music and the lesson of resilience. My life is no longer about accumulation. It's about contribution. I am Leticia, and my legacy is much more than a piece of real estate. The old brick walls of my apartment have seen so much over the decades. They've seen births, deaths, laughter, and now a silent revolution. I often touch the bricks and feel the history in them. They are solid and enduring, just like I have become. I am the guardian of this home and the stories it contains. No developer or greedy relative will ever take that away from me. I am the mistress of my domain, and I am staying right here in Beacon Hill. I recently went back to the North End to get those pastries Rodrigo used to bring. This time, I bought them for myself. I sat in a small cafe and enjoyed every bite without the shadow of suspicion. It's amazing how much better things taste when they aren't laced with hidden agendas. I am learning to enjoy the simple pleasures of life again. I am a woman of 76, and I have never felt more alive or more in control of my destiny. My granddaughter Mariana is now helping me with my online piano school. She's wonderful with the younger students, and her kind heart shines through everything she does. She told me that she's grateful I saved her from a life of lies. We are a team now, working together to build something beautiful. She's found a new sense of confidence, and I couldn't be prouder. We often laugh about the Sunday trap and how we outsmarted the golden boy. The seasons are changing in Boston, and the first leaves are starting to fall. I love the autumn. It's a time of transition and reflection. I'm preparing the apartment for the winter, making sure everything is cozy and warm. I don't have to worry about the heating bills anymore. I have plenty for whatever I need. I am living a life of abundance, not just in money, but in spirit. I am surrounded by love, music, and the peace of a clear conscience. I've realized that the greatest inheritance I can leave my grandchildren is not money, but the example of a life lived with integrity. I want them to remember me as a woman who wouldn't be bullied or erased. I want them to know that their value comes from within, not from the things they own. I am teaching them the true meaning of wealth. My grandson Leo told me I'm a super grandma, and I think I might actually believe him this time. 1 year after the confrontation, I held a small dinner party for my neighbors. We celebrated our victory and our community. We are no longer just people living in the same building. We are friends who look out for each other. We've created a fiduciary shield to protect our homes from predators. It's a wonderful feeling to know that we are safe and that we have each other's backs. We are the masters of our own destiny, and we are stronger together. My ginger cat Beethoven is currently purring on my lap as I finish my tea. He's a constant companion and a reminder that there is always room for a new friend in your life. We spend our evenings together, listening to the city noises and the wind in the trees. It's a simple life, but it's a rich one. I have my health, my family, and my dignity. I am Leticia, and I have reclaimed my name and my future. I am finally, truly home in the heart of Boston. As I look at the photos on my mantle, I see a lifetime of love and struggle. Every photo tells a story, and I am the narrator of them all. I am no longer afraid of the end of the book. I am enjoying every single page of this current chapter. I am a woman who was forged in fire and came out like steel. I am proud of the person I have become and the choices I have made. I am a survivor, a teacher, and a champion of truth. I am Leticia Miller. To every woman who feels like her voice is being silenced, speak up. To every parent who feels used, set boundaries. To everyone who feels invisible, stand in the light. Your story is not over until you say it is. Take control of your narrative and your destiny. You have the power to change your life at any age. Don't be afraid to be the hero of your own story. I am Leticia, and I am finally, truly free. Thank you for listening to my journey.